Pleasure to now introduce Margaret Thompson, who I know because of peacock feathers. She might want to talk about those, or she might not. And she has written about the ear, and she came to Canada from England in 1967, about the time I was going to that boarding school. I could have swapped, I would have liked to. And is a teacher, has taught English at secondary and post-secondary institutions for many years until her retirement in 1998. She's the author of 6 books, including 2 collections of personal essays, the most recent of which is Adrift on the Ark, Our Connection to the Natural World, which is published by Brindle and Glass. She is a past president of the Federation of BC Writers, and she now lives in Victoria. Margaret.
The ear is a remarkable organ, and what it does is little short of miraculous. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about, I'm going to take a slight detour into literary and historical paths. Shakespeare certainly found inspiration in the metaphorical possibilities of ears. Friends, Romans, countrymen, bawls Antony, lend me your ears. Thoroughly nasty Iago whispers his insinuations in Othello's ear and poisons a relationship for no good reason. And the most graphic example, both literal and figurative, of the damage caused by pouring poison into ears comes from the ghost of Hamlet's father, lamenting his own untimely end at the hands of his brother, and the ensuing abuse of the whole ear of Denmark by the phony tale of a snakebite. Shakespeare's physiology may be a bit suspect, but there's nothing shaky about his capacity for horror. This is the quotation. Upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hebena in a vial, and in the porches of mine ear did pour the leprous distilment. And the most instant tetter barked about most Lazar-like, with vile and loathsome crust all my smooth body. In the porches of mine ear. That phrase has haunted me ever since I first read Hamlet as a teenager, plagued, ironically, by various unlovely skin conditions. I'm uneasily aware that the ear is a breach in the head's defences, an opening that cannot be closed, vulnerable to intruders. There's nothing unique about my queasiness. People have been frightening each other with stories about insects that take up residence in the ear and bore through the brain for centuries. While these may be the urban myths of their time, we retain their spirits still. After all, we still call one of those insects by the name our Anglo-Saxon forebears gave it more than 1,000 years ago. Even though earwigs probably wouldn't be caught dead in a human ear, and even if they were, certainly wouldn't get any farther unless they developed the ability to mine through the densest bone of the skull. Reason may assert we have little to fear from alien incursions, but John Hanning Speke probably took little comfort from that notion if he ever entertained it. He is the 19th century explorer who accompanied Richard Burton on a celebrated and harrowing journey to find the source of the Nile, and was actually the one who staggered on alone and half blind while Burton was ill, and found it in Lake Victoria. More to our point, he was sheltering in his tent during a storm one night, and noted in his journal that the interior of the canvas became covered with a host of small beetles, evidently attracted by the glimmer of the candle. He tried to brush them away, but exhaustion made him fall asleep without getting rid of them. Later, he was woken by one of the beetles crawling into his ear and could not dislodge it. The beetle apparently became desperate to escape. He began with exceeding vigour, like a rabbit in a hole, to dig violently away at my tympanum. Speke had no mineral oil at hand, so he tried to flush the insect out with melted butter. When that had no effect, he tried to spear it with his knife and succeeded in killing it, mangling his ear further in the process, without being able to remove the corpse. Inevitably, infection followed. His face and neck swelled and he broke out in boils. Speke matter-of-factly describes the appalling result. For many months the tumour made me almost deaf and ate a hole between the ear and the nose, so that when I blew it, the nose that is, my ear whistled so audibly that those who heard it laughed. 6 or 7 months after this accident happened, bits of the beetle, a leg, a wing, or parts of the body, came away in the wax. The incident speaks volumes about the toughness of 19th century explorers in darkest Africa, but it also takes the phrase, to put a bug in your ear, to a whole new level. I can still hear distant echoes of my best friend's mother, a Red Cross nurse, dispensing homespun wisdom. Never put anything smaller than your elbow in your ear.